Just why we're yearning. And I want to kind of just establish your relationship with him because I think that you're my best bet.
Man, what the heck?
One interesting thing that he mentioned was this female that Kevin met in his neighborhood while she was walking home.
So we stopped and had a conversation with this particular person, and from what he told me, this young lady came by his home either that night or the next night, but he never mentioned a name.
So he goes on to describe this young lady, saying she's attractive, she has a nice body, and these kind of things. Hey guy, you're a grown man, do what you want to do. I kind of looked at that.
So you have the impression of somebody that he hooked up with, or yeah, just somebody that female on the street. He saw it, he was attracted to her, picked her up, and this was early on.
No,
The only thing I had,
what the heck? Somebody hacking. Somebody hacking.
Kevin was at my apartment Thursday or Friday before Labor Day.
We were hanging out by the pool, having some drinks, that kind of thing.
And he kept getting text messages to his phone.
Still going off.
So his phone keeps going off. I'm like, man, what's going on with your phone? And he starts to look at me and starts to get frustrated by this, like, text.
And he finally answered. And I just hear this person yelling at him, like, I could hear them. The phone wasn't even on speakerphone. I could just hear this person yelling. And he's like, I'm with my frat brother, I'll call you back later. And the person goes on and like, why are you always with your frat brother? Why are y'all always together, kind of thing.
See that?
Eventually he hangs up the phone. I'm like, bro, who was that? And he's like, it's just this girl over here near my home. She's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, if she's crazy, stop talking to her.
I didn't know Kevin to have anyone living with him, but as I talked to the neighbors and just talked to the people in the community, they kept referencing some woman that was driving his Jeep in and out the house. I have no clue who that person was.
The killer didn't seem to have had their own transportation because they had a need to take Kevin's vehicle. They didn't take all their items, they took the car. The investigators were interviewing associates and friends of the victim to learn about his lifestyle. A friend of his named Chad Castro came forward.
How long you know Kevin for?
I know him for like a year, almost 2 years.
During his interview, he told the investigators that Kevin had been involved with a female named Veronica Jerome.
Mila came over there looking for Kevin.
Were you at Kevin's house?
It was just me over there. She came over there and talked about where Kevin at. He owed me some money.
Don't have much longer, but we still
According to Chad,
going.
Veronica Jerome had made some angry posts on Facebook about Kevin Roman.
She made a post talking about what would you do about somebody that owe you money? Like, how would you handle it? And then she even called him out. And then a couple of weeks later, he did.
He had noted that the post appeared to have been taken down after Kevin was killed.
Did you hook up with her and were they together? I didn't say she lent her money, but her lent her money, but.
I know she stayed there at one point, and he said,
So she stayed there at one point at the house?
yeah, stayed there at one point of the house.
The detectives were able to get information that she was in jail at the time that the murder would have been committed, and they were able to confirm that. So they excluded her as a suspect based on the fact that she was incarcerated at the time. During the course of the investigation,
Dang it! We're trying a different game because every time I die, I gotta go to a different game. No! They changed this game.
And they went through these pictures.
Can't say that I have.
They were trying to piecemeal who certain people were at that time.
That's right.
And I was shocked because I didn't recognize a soul. They kind of gave me hope. And at that time, they had a strong lead. I had no clue who this person was. And someone was responsible for this. And
What's
the
that?
suspect.
What the heck? Get in, get in. God, get in. I'm kidding, I don't be like
Kevin was
that.
everything to me.
There's windows too.
He was more than a frat brother. He was blood.
Kevin's
Lot
memorial
of
was
in.
definitely highly emotional,
Yep.
but it was also a celebration of life.
I don't care who you were, where you were. If you met Kevin, you had to put a smile on your face. That's just the guy he was.
You would have never thought that many people would show up to say they wanted somebody. I mean, people in his past loved Kurt, Kevin,
It was a sea of people standing up at the same time. It had to have been half of the room stood.
I was talking about
I couldn't hold back the tears. It was just raining down like it was a waterfall. I loved him so much, like.
We had the little balloon release, you know, and I think that's kind of whenever it hit me and it made me mad. It made me mad at the person that did it. And you could see that in all those kids' eyes. They were crushed. They were broken. After a couple months, there are no more leads for investigators to follow up on. The case was not when the investigation started to stall, it was as if, you know, what's going on? I remember a lot of us saying, okay, we're gonna put his picture on our profile on Facebook, you know, just as until he gets justice. Not a lot of us thought we were gonna have this picture on our profile for 3 years.
Digital forensic technology is always in a state of progressing and refining and getting better. And so I submitted a broken phone to see if our personnel would be able to crack it.
The techs were able to download the data and we were able to actually get his text communications.
And in a case like this, where you have a murder that occurs, but the body is not found for a significant amount of time afterward, it's very telling when someone ceases communication with the victim on the day of the murder. We identified only one phone number that fit that pattern, and that phone number ended up being identified as that of LaQuinta Johnson. Research on her quickly showed that she lived across the street from where Kevin's vehicle was found. One interesting thing about Kevin was that for certain females, he would identify their contacts by the way that he had met them, and sometimes certain physical characteristics that they had. The contact that Kevin had in his phone for LaQuinta Johnson was actually cute, big booty. She was walking home. And that was interesting to me because it further linked to what Mr. Davis had said before about this female that was walking home and Kevin had picked her up. I was able to establish that they had met only about 23 days before Kevin was killed.
Investigators were able to determine that Kevin Rowan was probably killed on September 4th because that's when his cell phone activity ceased. LaQuinta had been in contact with her brother, Richard Gaines, on the morning that we believed that Kevin had been killed.
Richard Gaines was a documented gang member. He had a history of weapons offenses. And I found out that Richard had been arrested on September the 12th, just a week after the murder, and he was in possession of a .45 caliber handgun. And Kevin was killed with a .45 caliber weapon. And LaQuinta had a prior conviction for aggravated assault, where she was accused by an ex-boyfriend of hers of shooting at him.
I know somebody's going to click it right now while I'm right here.
Richard Gaines was pulled over.
Watch this,
He
watch
had
this.
consented to a search of the
We'll
car.
click it.
And during the search of the vehicle, the officers found a .45 caliber handgun.
Click it. What the heck? What the heck? It just restarted me.
Richard was booked at the Brazoria County Jail, and his sister, LaQuinta Johnson, was brought to homicide.
Kevin died on the morning of September 4th, early morning hours. He got shot on the 4th, and the text messages indicate that you guys were together on the 3rd. Did you stay at his house?
Look at that.
I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
She lied to us and downplayed her relationship with Kevin and tried to make it seem like it was casual.
And nobody's gonna believe it was just a coincidence that your brother showed up and killed this guy that you just and then you were at his house.
I was at his house the night before, sir. And
Her brother was not really arrested.
So you don't believe me that Richard's in jail? You just say
whatever you want to do, Sergeant, I'm done talking.
My God, bruh.
You're gonna be
People keep pressing.
I brought her a picture of her brother's smoking gun.
What?
I'll show you one thing before you go. So you're gonna think I'm a liar. See the file date?
And then I left the room. She started crying, and I opened the door.
Huge.
You didn't have anything to do with it.
I'm not believing you.
Whatever you feel I did, I would take that. But just leave my brother out of this because he did not have nothing to do with it. He never gave me no gun. None of that.
Now that just sounds like you're falling on your sword for your brother.
Not falling on no sword for my brother.
I'm complaining. I got sisters. I fall on my sword for them.
Not falling on my sword for my brother. He don't deserve to be in jail for something he had nothing to do with. And he didn't know
I'm
nothing
dancing.
about.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
She believed that they were probably both going down for the homicide, and she didn't think it was right that he would go down for it. She told us that the .45 caliber handgun was her gun.
Another 100. No. Darn.
Why did you want Kevin to do one for me?
So heartless. Man wasn't ready to sleep to me.
Wait, I died already.
Is there anything that you would like me to tell Kevin's family on your behalf?
I'm sorry.
Drop it. They already got dropped. Ah, leak, no.
I thought like, people seeing people, I was seeing people like, I really like too much different.
We actually made a video of her telling Richard that she had promptly and told everything, and that he needed to protect himself and tell the truth.
Whatever you have to do, you tell them, you testify against me, you didn't know nothing about it. You didn't have anything to do with it, I did everything myself. I'm sorry, bro. For you like this, I'm sorry. I love
played that for him when I went to interview him at the jail. Determined that firearm that was found in Richard's possession was the gun that was used to kill Kevin Roman. Richard's never been charged in relation to the murder because he wasn't involved. He just ended up with the gun after the fact.
What the?
Ultimately, she agreed to plead guilty to the murder charge in exchange for a 45-year sentence.
Just if I land in that one and say, wait, I died.
I say, well, the praise be to God. I don't have any hatred for her. I feel
Only
sorry
17
for her.
minutes and I only got like 8 times.
What I miss most about my brother is the ability to talk to him, laugh with him, for him to encourage me in my walk as a single person in God.
Truly.
And I don't have that right now. So it was hard for me when he passed away.
It's hard for me.
She took away the soul, the heart and soul of this school.
If I could leave any final words about Kevin Roman, I would say this: to take his energy, take his compassion for people, and let that be a part of you.
Bro, this
That
is
the
Boris
greatest
Thunder,
way to
but just
honor
in
him.
Roblox.
Kevin loved anybody regardless of color, gender, relationship status, pronouns, whatever it was. Kevin loved people. He had that kind of impact where you just wanted to be a better person.
Wait, what the?
around him.
Gotta make an
His
emergency
legacy
landing,
is his
people.
love for the students of the school.
Frick you. Boom!
That tells you there's a problem.
Wait, how much I got? 1K?
I still
Drop.
remember falling to the floor on my knees and screaming. It just kept replaying.
Oh yeah. 50. Keep dropping till I run out of money. Keep dropping. Just keep dropping. Just keep dropping. Just keep dropping. Just keep. Oh, I'm gonna be hot.
In the early 80s, growing up in Parsippany was amazing. We were close to New York City, about 30 minutes.
Man, why do I keep earning so much?
Some of us went with our parents all the time, and some of us never went to the city because it was the big city. We were also very protected living in our little hometown. Football.
Starter egg is 100K?
Big
What?
and cheer for at Parsippany Hills High School. We used to wear our uniforms to school and do pep rallies
Oh, I
Fridays
am
before the
down,
games.
down.
Everyone was watching
Oh,
you,
oh, oh.
and you just feel that energy.
Uh-huh.
When you
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and no matter where you were, someone would always say, "Go Vikings!" You wanted the recognition, so you wore it everywhere.
Yes, I am in debt right now.
Our last practice was Tuesday,
Yes!
November 23rd.
Yes, bro.
And it was the practice right before our big
Hey, I
game.
can't die in this game.
Our big
I can die in this game. Next up.
the practice team was leaving to go to work at the Morris County Mall. She wore this skirt and like a purple sweater. And I remember how like thinking she looked spectacular. She worked in fashion and clothing store and she had to look the part. And she did. She drove 2 of my friends home that day before she started her part-time job. And I remember them saying if they had been, you know, that was the last time they were going to talk or see her.
No. We need to call. Fire!
Amy's mother became concerned when she did not come home from work at the normal hour when she was supposed to come home. days because we can't just call someone. There's no such
Man, I
thing
just
as
hit
phones.
that thing.
She proceeded to drive to the parking
Bro,
lot
man.
where Amy worked. And that's when she found her daughter's car.
Oh.
And she called the police.
What?
Arrived at the scene, it was dark. Very dark. There's police vehicles. There's only one car. And that's Amy Hopkins' car. The Marstown Mall is one of the first malls in our area. So there was a lot of activity, a lot of business, but there was also a lot of crime at the mall. And the main road is probably about 30 or 40 feet above the height of the mall. So once you're parked there, you're kind of isolated. And there was no security. Once the people left their work and walked their park lot, they're virtually alone. The car door was open. You had the pocketbook in the front seat of the car. You had the keys in the ignition. It tells us that she left abruptly. That it wasn't a planned departure. The fact that those items are there and she's nowhere around, that tells you there's a problem.
Keep on target, keep on target.
From the moment
And
we
fight.
got to school on Wednesday, it was obvious something was going on.
I just remember one of my girlfriends coming up to me at the locker and saying, I don't know if we're going to have a pep rally today. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, Amy never came home last night. You know, it was like telephone tag when someone told you something, you know, and the next person passed it on, passed it on, passed it on.
The heck?
By the time we all got into homeroom, the whole school, the whole student body knew.
There we go. What the heck, man?
If she was sick, she would have spoken to one of her friends. They would have known.
Hold up.
Amy's boyfriend, which happened to be a friend of mine, a football player. He said he hadn't talked to her either. Didn't know where she was and hadn't heard from her.
Alex was a great athlete. He was a big, strong guy. If you looked at him, you know, you might be afraid of him. But if you knew him, he was sort of a gentle giant. You know, he really only lost his temper on the football field.
They started dating at some point in early November and became boyfriend girlfriend pretty quickly. She liked him first, and he liked her back. She was actually, I think, his first girlfriend.
I think at that time, you know, the so-called relationships that were going on in high school, he was everybody's first love, so to speak.
After he met Amy, he was just a different person. When she went missing, he got more and more withdrawn.
Oop, my bad. Oop, my bad. Oop, look at this. Flash. What the?
So the morning of Thursday, November 25th, the day of the big Thanksgiving Day game, which we had looked forward to for 4 years, was hard to
The blood, get in.
get up and get ready and go to the game and try to put on a brave face.
I heard about it talking to the players. Tell the kids, you know, especially Alex, if you don't want to play out, it's not everything.
Kaboom.
Life and death and those things are much more important than a game. It was very difficult.
Oh my god. We're starting on fire, people.
Our coach bought us each a Mylar balloon, and we tied those balloons, each one of us, to our megaphone. So we had one for Amy, and Amy's megaphone and the balloon were there without Amy. And I still see that image in my head. That balloon tied to that megaphone, blowing in the wind.
And I'm leaving this man here. I ain't going back. Yes, sir.
It was a blowout. We won 47-0. Yeah, it was a good game. We finished the season 6-3.
You would think that we would be beyond excited for the final score to have such a blowout, but
Da 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 da. Oh!
So after the game, we had to go celebrate Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, he already destroyed it. There's already a...
And I
No,
was just in
regen
a state of
it.
shock.
There we go. We got submarine.
And we came home that night, and I think it was Mary Poppins
Marine.
that was playing on the TV, and the phone rang.
Boop, 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 boop.
My dad was upstairs, and I knew he picked it up. And I kept thinking, I don't want him to come downstairs, because I know he's going to tell me something bad. And so I started hearing him walk down the stairs, and he said, I have to talk to you. And I remember saying, no, I don't want to hear what you have to tell me. And he said, they found her around. She was stabbed. It seemed like you're the worst nightmare that you could ever have. Then there was a whole new sense of fear, anxiety.
Ooh, excuse me, people. Excuse me. I got an idea.
Extensive investigation was conducted by.
He better not blow this up. He better not. It's a. Let's see off without him. Wow! Worst nightmare ever. Wow! Oh no. He's going to shoot us down. Wow! We don't care. Wow! Trouble physics. Wow! Wow!
Found in approximately 3 feet of water. We knew exactly the clothes she
Close my doors. Close the doors. Because he's going to weekend that shit. And I'm going to go watch this. Wow! 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 Just to get the guy.
Right through her chest.
Oh, flip. Boom!
But the hand, her fingers, were almost cut completely off. Amy had a mini paddle, which later came positive to $7. And the fact that it was there tells us it was
here.
Sexual assault.
Watch this fire grow.
And then there's this
This.
It's not
Oh,
characteristic
go up. What the? What is
death
this?
struggle at the crime scene. It's totally disassociated. It's not a defensive wound.
Yep.
You don't understand why would it be here?
We're going to set another plane. Put a red tat in Adam.
Just a few days ago, 18-year-old Amy Hoffman was going to school, working. Today, her classmates and friends grapple with how to say goodbye to someone whose life was suddenly taken in such a horrific and violent way.
Yeah, nuke jet.
She used to say we were two wild and crazy girls.
Lift off.
Saturday Night Live. We used to just have fun. We've known each other since second grade. Amy and I were friends for so long.
There we go.
Actually, she used to call me her sister. And to have a good friend like Amy, who you go through these experiences with, the highs
What the
and
heck, bruh?
that was a big deal.
Holding. Oh, okay.
It was a crime of such magnitude that most of the cops in northern New Jersey were concerned
Alright,
about.
maybe.
Nobody's ever had such a horrific type homicide occurring to a young girl in.
What the heck, bruh?
It's not an active reservoir. The tanks were abandoned. I never knew they were. I mean, I'm giving directions to get to the scene and I'm having trouble finding That tells me the
Hope he
subject
didn't
in
see
this
that
case
because he's in
is
the
local.
privacy goddamn.
It had been known for
Gets the glock. Gets the good stuff grind. You're not a glock. Glock. Is that you? No, it's not. Glock. Is that you? No.
when you're 17 or 18 years old.
Wolf airboat. I'm gonna do this in the water. I can get down.
That's why the first person.
Oh, he's going.
To be so young and have to deal with that kind of tragedy, and you're being questioned by the police in the murder investigation, I can't imagine.
It definitely was a pressure on him, but he cared about her a lot. Just would never see him doing something like that to Amy or anybody, for that matter.
This man ain't buying that done.
Many of us, myself included, were hauled out of class by a police officer or investigator. It seemed like it happened every day, where for at least a week
Oh
or two
my
after,
god, bro.
you just knew you were
Exploded.
going to constantly be asked questions about what was going on. Because I think
Wait,
at the time,
in front of
we
the ship.
didn't know if it was somebody she knew, if it was somebody that was stalking
Front
her.
of the ship.
And then the cheerleaders and I started talking and remembered other things that happened.
Yes! Mission accepted. Go here. Place it. Go hit it.
I used to practice in this wing of the hall, right outside
Darn.
the gymnasium. And there was a payphone, and sometimes the phone would ring, and you know, you're silly, you answer it.
It was a male voice.
What the?
He just was saying weird things about the cheerleaders and being specific, mentioning names.
And I gotta.
Is she there? Can I talk to her? What should she wear today? Put her on the phone.
I do remember picking up the phone once,
It's all the way up there already.
and he was actually talking about me, specifically talking about what I looked like.
You knew where we practiced, like we were being watched, almost.
We just thought it was strange that he specifically knew us, how he knew the phone number, because it was just a payphone, a random
Now why is
payphone in high school.
Is the dentist or
When I
something?
told the policemen, they
That's a
took it
chair.
very seriously. The detectives now had
Whoa,
a direction to go with their investigation, and they started looking into who was
Puzzle
making these
lights.
phone calls.
It
Knock
was
forward.
very scary, because we realized
And,
maybe those
hold
calls
on.
to the payphone in the hallway where we practiced were a lot more
Close the water
relevant
tap.
than we tried to believe they were.
Look how much that dress. That was not me. Yeah, that was not me. Like, stop blaming it on me.
Police are trying to figure out who killed Parsippany Hills cheerleader Amy Hoffman. Police are investigating reports that the cheerleaders may have received just 10 phone calls just a week before.
Because you can't be identified right now as a cheerleader. You went from being so proud of your identity as a cheerleader to
Information you can spawn internet and any word
We found out the individual who allegedly made some obscene phone calls was
Ain't nobody love me like I
high
love
school
you.
where
Wait.
Amy attended. He was a coach. The assistant coach said, coach the
Oh my god, there's an explosion! Boop, 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 boop.
the young people as they were going along in the program.
It's a very
That's one
nice
of my
day.
actual staff members was talking to the cheerleaders. People were asking,
I gotta be right back.
this kind of thing.
Watch the ship sink.
In for questioning, he told police the night of November 23rd he had done report cards and deliver them to another teacher's house. But the teacher says that she never got the report cards. Then he also claimed that he was having dinner with a friend who says he hasn't seen him in about a year. So right away, something doesn't seem right. You're wondering why he's making things up.
I got a call from a friend who said that the police had taken Coach Kevin. And the rumor mill, I guess, kind of got started.
I had associated with him, you know, we all did. And it just seemed so strange that maybe he could have potentially killed Amy. And knowing that made me feel very exposed.
His alibis, which were somewhat inconsistent, taken in conjunction with these phone calls, and now you're looking for anything that really connected this individual to the murder of Amy Hoffman.
So what did I miss?
Get whatever
That's what I missed.
you can get the alleged assailant.
Detectives and investigators canvassed the Morris County Mall and found out information from employees at the mall. They said the night Amy Hoffman was abducted, they see this guy in the car, they're spooked. He's kind of a mean-looking guy. He could actually play Freddy Krueger, you know, in a horror show. They described the person, said he had brown curly hair.
Oh my god, he's still driving it, bro.
The employees just said that the car they saw was approximately a 1970 Chevy, blue, green in color, and it had on two different sides of the car. In the process, the assistant coaches was looking for anything that could tie the car to Amy Hoffman.
Keep still moving.
But I could see the movie. It was a dark color car. It wasn't an early model Chevy. He's not a mean-looking guy. He's not consistent with the description from employees at the Morris County Mall.
It is a huge jump.
Hi.
These so-called obscene phone calls